I believe that a career is a lot about uh, the people you meet. It's a lot about alignment. It's about being aligned with the product you're working on. It's about being aligned with the culture you are serving. You need to be fully aligned with the values of your company. And it's about being aligned with the person you're working for.
Hello, my name is Renee Leith Manos. Welcome to this podcast, Where to From Here, featuring conversations about luxury travel and how it's changing in every pocket of the globe. Hi guys, today I'm sitting in the Sofitel in Bangkok, and it is my great honor to introduce you to one of the most inspiring women in luxury hotels right now, Maud Bailey, who's the CEO of Sofitel Hotels globally. She really is inspiring and one of the most powerful women at the top of the luxury hotel industry globally. She's had the most extraordinary rise to success. Maud worked in financial audit for some of the most powerful financial organizations in the world, including the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. She also worked for the French National Train Company. She has also worked for the cabinet of one of the prime ministers in Paris and for the digital department responsible for economic budget, fiscal, industrial, and digital affairs. Plus, she also sat on the board of Groupe Casino, one of France, I beg your pardon, largest retailers. She joined Accor about 8 years ago, where she was appointed initially as Chief Digital Officer. Then she became the CEO of Southern Europe. And in January 2023, she was appointed CEO of Sofitel, MGallery, and Emblems. She has, I believe, more than about 240 hotels in over 60 countries beneath her. But look, her career path really is only a quarter of the story. This is a woman redefining what it means to be a CEO, redefining what it means to be a woman in business. I was so lucky to meet her in Sydney at the opening of the beautiful Sofitel Wentworth Hotel there. She held a press conference and she was so inspiring. I just had to bring her onto the show. Maud, welcome.
Thank you, my dear Renee. It's too much, but I'm thrilled to be with you today.
I am thrilled that you are with me today. And I have to ask you, most of the people I interview who are at the top level of hotels have been there right through their career. This is not the case for you. Did you ever, when you were younger, dream of working in the luxury hotel industry?
Not at all. No, actually, I was born and grown in the northern suburbs of Paris. My mother was a literature teacher. My father was an engineer, and I grew up with music and books. I loved to go to school, but honestly, I had no clue about what I would do afterwards. So I was just following my way and happy childhood. But a very also humble one and no clue about hospitality, especially luxury segment. Not at all.
And what was the pivotal moment that when you entered luxury hotels for the first time? I guess that was 8 years ago.
It was, yes, right after serving my country for 10 years, as you reminded it to us, I was meant to join a French bank, worldwide French bank. I have to precise, I hadn't signed my contract. And then during a dinner, I had the chance to meet Sebastien Bazin, our chairman and CEO at Accor. And, I believe that a career is a lot about uh, the people you meet. It's a lot about alignment. It's about being aligned with the product you're working on. It's about being aligned with the culture you are serving. You need to be fully aligned with the values of your company. And it's about being aligned with the person you're working for. And at that dinner, I remember uh, almost 8 years ago, I met Sebastien Bazin and I listened to his vision, to his passion. Um, I thought he was very demanding, but at the same time, very human, um, uh, very gentle. I told myself, it could be nice to work for this person. And this is how everything happened. And initially, I studied in the digital world. So, I was in charge of transforming a non digital native company and to educate a non digital company about moving to the cloud, the need for cybersecurity investment, reshaping the loyalty program platform, reinventing the system, the digital ecosystem. It was, of course, very tech driven, but also very educational because I had to convince and to embark people who had no real digital culture. Afterwards, I took over a Southern European 900 and 1900 hotels in 7 countries. And I loved it because it was very operational, very much connected to the field. I spent a lot of time at the hotel level, but then COVID happened. And then we went almost to clinical deaths. We were 3 months ago super enthusiastic because travel industry is a blessed one, as Sebastien Bazin
Yes.
very often says. And all of a sudden, borders were closed, people were scared, hidden behind their screens with Teams and Zoom. And, hospitality was almost dying. And I was like, what am I going to do? So it was not really about luxury at that time. It was about resilience and surviving. But my real encounter, my real focus on luxury happened, I must say, 2 years ago. Of course, as a person, I've always enjoyed luxury products, luxury goods, or luxury experiences. But professionally, being in charge of a luxury P&L, a luxury worldwide P&L, started for real 2 years ago with a new organization that Sebastien put in place according to two distinctive divisions, one in charge of eco mid-scale brands according to regions, and one luxury and lifestyle division relying on four maisons. And my maison is in charge of Sofitel, Sofitel Legend, MGallery, and Emblems brands. Only four brands so that you can get into the nitty-gritty of a luxury brand. A luxury brand, a brand in itself, it's not just about communication, Renee. It's about the brand guest promise. It's about the brand identity, the pillars, what makes the brand different. What is the culture which is behind this brand, which makes people and guests and talents choose this brand, and even owners choose this brand and not another one. So having this luxury worldwide scope and at the same time only four brands allows me to really get into the nitty gritty of the luxury segment, and I love it.
Well, I mean, you are French, and French typically is home to historically the biggest luxury brands in the world, whether we're talking fashion, champagne, wine, food. I mean, we could, right? How much does your French background have an influence on your brand perception, and how important is it to Sofitel?
It's a very good question. And 2 years ago, when I took over this new role, the first question we asked ourselves was, does it still make sense to sell a brand with a French promise? Does it still make sense? Or are
True.
we just perceived as Frenchies as arrogant, grumpy people looking down on people? Does it sell to be French? And of
Yeah.
course, me, I mean, having been a civil servant for 10 years, serving my country, I hope it was still making sense, but I had to ask the question. So during 3 months, Renee, we've been traveling all around the world, asking the question to not only our owners, but also to our guests and to our talents. And they've been all telling us why they love the French touch and how they love it. So we realized that we had to keep the French touch and maybe to reshape it in an even more relevant way. But clearly, it was something which was allowing us to be different. And in an ocean of sameness with so many brands,
Yes.
why should you pick up this brand, Renee? Why? As a talent, as an investor, as a guest, why? So we needed to have a storytelling which was genuinely different. And being French,
Mm.
selling a promesse of France was something different, but provided we are doing it in a good way. So we
Yeah.
realized,
So hang on, before you go on, are you saying that when you started in the job, you did surveys of your guests and of various people to find out their perceptions? How many? That's really fascinating. How many surveys did you do, and was
oh,
it global, or how do you go
global,
about that?
all around the world, I've been traveling nonstop during at least 3 or 5 months. And it was
Wow.
systematic interviews with owners, investors, prospect, guest, talent, starting with the butler, the chef, the lady at the front office who had been working for Sofitel over the past 20 years, who was sharing with us what she loved at that brand, what she was missing at that time,
Yes.
regrets, what she would like to see to come back, or what we had been missing on this French touch.
Wow.
We realized that being French could be an impressive asset provided it was crafted in a relevant manner. So we transformed the French art de vivre into French zest. Why zest? Because it's also a matter of attitude. And you know, Renee, how much luxury is about attitude. Luxury
Oh,
is not just about product. Luxury is about the way you make your guests feel. You can have a beautiful
definitely.
day if it's not seamless, personalized, if it's not touching your heart. It's not luxury. So we realized that we had to craft the French touch with the French zest, i.e., something where, of course, you promote a petit bout de France, a little piece of France around design, food and beverage, the art of sleep. I hope you enjoy our mattresses
Oh,
and pillows
magnificent.
and everything. It's part of our promise, but also
Yes.
culture, connection, way of behaving, way of serving you, a little touch of impertinence and freedom, very much embedded into generosity and emotional intelligence. And we not only renovated our hotels with the support of our owners according to this, we also crafted new learning and development programs according to this French's philosophy. We would like people, the minute they get into Sofitel, to feel in a very cozy, warm space where luxury
Beautiful.
means that they will feel spoiled with heart and generosity. It's not a cold, rigid luxury. It's a
Yeah.
luxury with a heartfelt service culture. And this is also part of being French. In my vision of France, and of course, obviously, I may not be objective at all, Renee.
Well, I do too. I totally understand because I mean I adore France. It's as I said, it's for me, it's the home of global luxury. But in your when you started your job as well, I was reading about your background, and one of the things I believe that you did was to discard some of the hotels from the Sofitel portfolio. Can you talk me through what and why you did that, and the way forward from there?
Yeah. You know, sometimes you need to take very tough decisions to show the respect you're looking for
Mm,
your brands. And if you don't walk the talk, if you're just showcasing beautiful brand campaigns and the reality of the network you're in charge of is not consistent with the brand promise, you lose any kind of credibility. So
yes,
we decided to travel to listen to the way our people were looking at us and our brands, but we also decided to travel to assess the quality of our network. And at that time, Renee, 2 years ago, we had clearly a two-speeds network, i.e.,
right.
beautiful flagships, nice hotels, great culture. But on the other hand, I must say we had aging hotels, which had become what we called detractors, i.e., hotels where the minute you get in, you're killing your brand's perception. So we had
Not good.
three options. One, we had to manage to convince the owners to renovate. And the good news is that in the vast majority of the cases, the discussions with the owners led to renovations program. And I'm happy to see that the hotel you're staying in, Sofitel Bangkok, has been recently fully
Oh,
refurbished. And I attended the
beautiful.
renovation party, and it's a beautiful product serving by an even more beautiful culture because people are so proud to work now in this refurbished hotel. We just achieved the
It's beautiful.
renovation of Sofitel Athens, Sofitel Wentworth in Sydney, and we launched many, many renovations. 26% of the
Yeah.
Sofitel network is under renovation, including Sofitel New York.
Hang on, repeat that. 26% of the Sofitel network is under renovation.
Yes, including the Sofitel New York, whose refurbishment has been proudly announced last June. And by the end of 2025, Renee, it will become one of the most beautiful flagships of New York, fully refurbished around Art Deco. And I'm looking forward. But it's not just about New York, it's also about Montreal and Washington, D.C. and LA. Renovation is contagious because people
Yes.
see that you show respect and you ask for
Yes.
respect for your brand. The second option was rebranding, i.e., the hotel was okay, but clearly not compliant with the brand positioning. So we decided to switch four existing hotels of my network 2 years ago to other Accor brands. And the good news is that at Accor, Renee, we've got 51 brands, which will be a pity if we're not able to find another brand.
51.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like Accor is taking over the world, I must say.
No, 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 no. We went very humble, but we are passionate for sure.
Yeah.
And the last option you mentioned earlier is exit. When there is no other option, when we know that there will be no investment, when we know that things can only get worse,
Yeah, no.
unfortunately, also for matter of respect to all the other owners who do respect their hotels and who do massively invest, we had to exit some hotels. So we exited 9 hotels, not only some, but
9.
also MGallery hotels, because luxury is about consistency. To me,
100%.
luxury can't cope with any compromise with quality and service. Luxury is walking on 2 legs, product and service. If you're missing one of these 2 legs, you're falling. So we had to work on elevating not only the brand promise with beautiful brand platform, brand campaign, and movies and everything, but also elevating meanwhile the network, cleaning the network,
100%.
renovating. And guess what? The minute you clean your network, you show respect to your brands, the pipeline reignites. And we are going to
Wow.
open 3 new Sofitel Legend, 30 new Sofitel, 48 MGallery, and 5 Emblems in the 3 coming years. Also because I believe our owners feel that we have a very strong identity behind each of those 4 brands. We have a clear
Yeah, well, now that you're in the job, I'm sure that's what they think.
we have a clear vision of what should make us different. Because
No,
again,
absolutely. And just let me stop you for one
look,
second, because Sofitel and you running Sofitel have a very different vision to a lot of other luxury hotel brands, as I understand it, in that you manage the properties, you don't own them. Is that true of all of the
yeah,
Sofitel
yeah,
hotels?
it's true of all the Accor hotels. You've got
Right.
2 type of business models in the hospitality industry. You've got asset heavy and asset light. Asset heavy, if you are the queen of a hospitality company, Renee, you can
Yeah.
decide to change the color of your walls in the minute. Okay,
Yes.
you select the color of the painting, and tomorrow it's done. In
Yes.
asset light environment, it's a B2B2C business. My
Yes.
clients are not the people who are sleeping in my hotel. My first clients are the owners. The owners I have to convince to choose me, or the owners I have to convince to stay with me when they renew their contracts. And you can have
So hang on, these owners by definition would be some of the wealthiest people in the world. So you're sitting down with billionaires, I'm assuming. I know some of them personally, so I know a lot of them are
oh,
billionaires.
yes.
Um, and what's it like? I mean, is that the biggest part of your job, sitting down with billionaires and talking them around and explaining to them about your vision?
Sitting with billionaires is not the biggest part of my job, but talking to my owners every day that God makes, for sure, yes. And it's normal because it's a
Yes.
B2B2C company. So, of course, they expect me to deliver a very strong differentiating brand promise and to make the network shine and to have a strong business performance because I'm in charge of the
Yes.
hotel performance. But on the other hand, yes, it's the constant dialogue because I'm sharing with them our strengths, where we stand today, and the ambition for the brands. The brands they chose for their properties. They are the one owning the hotels, and they are the one investing massively in the hotels renovations. So they need to be fully 100% convinced it's worth. And by the way,
Absolutely.
this dialogue is so important. I'm organizing next June 2025 the first Sofitel Legend MGallery and Emblems convention to gather all our honors in a dedicated audience to share with them the passion about our brands.
I want to come. That sounds incredible.
You need to buy a hotel.
How
You need to
amazing.
buy a hotel, Renee. Easy.
Tell me, how much does it cost? How much do I need to buy a hotel
Mm.
in this market? And how much does it cost to renovate? Seriously, like what sort of money are we
So
talking?
I'm not going to discuss confidential figures, but I can tell you it's a matter of dozen of millions, and it's closer to 100 millions if you add them, than
Yes.
millions.
And obviously it depends on where, because building a hotel in Southeast Asia is very different to building a hotel in the middle of New York.
Yeah, but when it's about a luxury segment, when you look at the standards, plus we are trying to embed CSR in all our hotels, it has a cost.
Right.
It has a cost, it's worth it, but the value comes with money and you have to invest massively.
And how do you think, I just have to ask this question, all of these billionaires, which are my words, I know, are all going to get on in this conference next June. Are you worried? Do you have to sort of sit them all separately?
Actually, it's funny. We had the discussion like it's a bet. It's a different audience. It's a more demanding audience. But on the other hand, we are so proud and we are so much looking forward to sharing with them the journey of our brands. I don't think I've ever experienced something more beautiful than reigniting a brand, giving clarity and pride and power back to a brand, especially in the luxury industry when I'm traveling again around the world, meaning the people I met 2 years ago, again, and they come nearby and say, "Can I say a few words?" I said, "Yeah, of course." And taking my hand and saying, "Thank you," because they are just feeling the pride back. Yes, I really want to share this journey with our owners. They may have really clear understanding of what's happening at their respective hotels level, but do they have the worldwide comprehensive, view of what's happening for the Sofitel network, the Sofitel Legend brand, the MGallery network, the Emblems network? I'm not sure about that. And I want to share that with them. Of course, they may have
Yes.
questions. Of course, we may have some debate, but it's healthy. An asset light company means that you are trying to build long term relationships based on trust and
Yes.
transparency. So, if we are not able to debate and to have healthy discussions and to celebrate together, it's not going to work. So, considering the quality of relationship I have with my owners, I want to try and I want to make it a success
That's wonderful. So is it in France, in Paris?
in Paris.
Of course.
Yeah, no
See?
one knows.
We'll keep it a secret. But I want to ask you about women because I know in Australia I was so inspired because it's so important to you to have women and men in your company and in senior positions. But I was a little bit privately devastated that I think the number was 9, that you've hired 9 female GMs since you've been in the job, and subsequently 9 left this year. Is that right? I mean,
Yeah.
why is this
It's
happening?
even worse, Renee. I appointed 10 female general managers and I lost 10. You know, um, life is a journey of humbleness. And on this topic, we need to do better. So, when I was in charge of Thousand Europe, I remember I had 43% of my GMs being women. And again, my point, Renee, is not to be surrounded exclusively by women. I just want to have
Yes, I know
men,
that about you. Yes.
women, junior, senior profiles, different national and cultural backgrounds. Today, I'm lucky enough to have a Polish HRO, an Australian COO who is also half German and Japanese, an Hungarian legal director, and having all these
Wow.
people together, all these sensitivities, all these backgrounds together is extremely powerful because diversity often
Yes.
needs the greatest level of collective intelligence. So, when I was in charge of Southern Europe, 43% of female GMs. When I took up this luxury worldwide P&L, I realized I had only 24% of female GMs. So I just pause and say, what's happening? What the problem? And I realized it's a bad mix between toxic musics according to which women couldn't run a luxury P&L,
Yes.
but also toxic inner barriers and beliefs according to which some women may believe they couldn't handle everything, they couldn't combine this P&L position with personal life. And it's true, Renee, that having been traveling in some countries in the world, some female GM explicitly told me they had to give up on their personal life to become a GM.
To be in the job.
Yes, so
So I have to ask you,
tough.
but I have to ask you, yes, it's tough. I'm a single mum with twins who are 17 now. How are you doing it? You have a couple of small children, you're married. How are you balancing
Married.
all of
I've got
this? I mean, you're on planes all the time.
I'm married, and I've got two wonderful but very energetic little girls. They are 4 and 11. What I'm saying now is what I'm trying to say all the time, because I don't want to be toxic. Being toxic meaning saying, pretending everything is perfect and under control. No, it's not. I mean, it's not easy every day. It's a challenge to try to reconcile everything. It's not that easy to be a CEO, a mom, a daughter, a sister, a wife. It's not easy. And it's okay to admit it, because sharing this
Yes.
vulnerability should give other people a hope and confidence in the
Yes.
fact that if I can do it, they can do it too. But on the other hand, it's doable. And if I can do it, people can do it. 3 weeks ago, we organized at Accor level a conference called Yes, You Can. And it was all about testimonials from female GMs and male GMs explaining how they were supporting diversity and how they were sometimes struggling with their personal work life balance, but also how they were at the end doing it and succeeding in it. And, there is something a bit toxic around the fact that people who are successful are perfect. They have no problem, they have no issue, they have no doubts. It's not true. I mean, I'm the luckiest CEO in the world. I love my job. I've got a wonderful team. It's wonderful to reignite a brand, and this journey is one of my favorite ones. But it's not easy. Not always.
No.
Sometimes you are exhausted, and maybe exhausting for your teams, and you are exhausted. I just came back from Benin, where I opened Sofitel Cotonou last week, and I landed at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. And the minute I came home, I had those two wonderful little girls jumping on me, and another full time job started. But this is my favorite moment, and
Yes.
it's okay. But
Yeah.
yes, it's difficult, but I think we need to share in more transparency our vulnerability and the fact that we're extremely human, but that with a lot of passion, with great people around you, with the little secret consisting into hiring smarter, get surrounded by strong people you empower who love to work together with strong values of solidarity and shared ambition, you can do it. Uh,
I
but
totally agree.
but let's stop saying no problem. I wake up in the morning, everything is under control. My hair ready, and the makeup is perfect. Not true. Not true.
Yes.
And it's okay.
No, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
we are alive. This is being alive.
Yeah. No, I agree. I run a luxury hotel consulting business and I go into hotels mainly in Southeast Asia, working with the staff to help them and support them with what's happening in their daily lives, both in the job and outside the job within luxury hotels. And what you were saying is music to my ears. We have to be more transparent. We have to be, more forgiving of ourselves,
Yeah,
let alone of each other.
and then more forgiving to each other. And it's funny because after the Yes You Can conference,
Yes.
some ladies within my maison came to see me and say, I'm gonna. It was a déclic. I decided now to go to another journey. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose all my talents. But it's also good because yesterday I had this conversation with one of my female talent. She decided to run the risk after the conference because she was telling me, I was listening to you and saying, okay, so at the end of the day, it's a normal person. And if she can do it, I can do it. It's a
Yes.
good timing to see this opportunity. So, yes, I love this word you have in English, which is nudge. We leaders, female leaders, should be nudgers. Like, we should have this
Yes.
little nudge reminding people that we are all human beings. There's no one more perfect than another one. And the minute there is a will, there is a way. And it's
Yes.
not going to be always easy, but it's a life journey. And if you follow
Yes.
your dreams, you're going to make it.
I love that. I love that. And look, we're going to run out of time, but I have to ask you, what are the biggest emerging luxury hotel markets in the world right now? We're on the cusp of 2025.
Yeah, Saudi, without any doubt, it's booming, and the social evolution in the country is very fast moving. It's impressive. So I'm going to Riyadh next February for the opening of the Sofitel
Wonderful.
Riyadh, but I also have some projects in Jeddah. Saudi is booming. Mexico, and it's very interesting because getting more and more into Mexico country is a good
Where in Mexico?
Mexico City, but also Tulum, Punta Mira, a bit everywhere. And it's a good
Mm,
gateway to the US market. So I think Mexico
yes.
City is and Mexico country is very interesting. Vietnam, and I
Yeah.
know you enjoyed Vietnam. Um, I love Vietnam. I love the resilience of the country. I love the positive vibes attached to the country. Today, I've already one beautiful Sofitel Legends, the Metropole in Hanoi, and I've got seven.
I'm going there. I'm going there on Christmas Day.
Let me know. You will see. There will be an after and before because it's not just a hotel; it's an experience. It's a
Yes.
once a
Beautiful.
lifetime journey. You tell me. And we just signed. We have also seven MGallery, and we just signed two new Sofitel in Vietnam. And
Wow. Where are they going to be?
they're gonna be in Sapa,
Oh,
in the Vietnamese countryside. It's a UNESCO protected site. Beautiful.
beautiful.
And we already signed another hotel in Haiphong. So beautiful. And the last booming country is probably India. Not that easy
Yes.
to read. We signed only this year a new Sofitel in Jaipur and a new Sofitel Legend in Jaipur in Indian Palace. Can you imagine? But
Beautiful.
it's not as that an easy country to read, but it's going to be a very fast growing market for the hospitality industry. And I love Indian culture. I love Indian food. I mean, this country is fascinating. And I can tell
Oh, it
it
is.
become one of the top destinations of luxury industry.
Absolutely. And it has so many people and they're
So
very
many
entrepreneurial.
people.
They work hard.
Yeah, they work hard. And yeah, they have everything to succeed. Some people are saying that India is a new China.
Yeah, wonderful. Now tell me before we go, do you ever get to travel on your for leisure? And if so, is it in luxury? And where do you like to go?
Um, I love, of course, to travel because I'm curious by nature and I love to discover new things and new people and new cultures. I'm fascinated how vast the world is and it's all about
Yes.
encounters, you know. I love the magic of encounters. So I've been traveling a lot to Egypt. Love Egypt. Uh, you start in Aswan, you go to Philae Temple, Abu Simbel Temple, and then you go to Luxor, to the Valley of the Queens and the Kings. In the morning, you wake up and you can see the sun rising on this eternal valley. And then you go to Karnak, and then you go to Cairo and you see the pyramids. It's like touching eternity. And then you go to Vietnam and you start in Hanoi with the food and the vibes and the positive mood everywhere and the culture and the heritage. And then you go in the Vietnamese countryside and then you go to Along Bay and you sleep on a boat just for the night and everything is still and quiet. And again, you touch a piece of eternity. And then you go to Santa Clara, the Sofitel legend in Cartagena. And it used to be a convent. And at 6 p.m. every day, there is a candle ritual at Sofitel. And uh, the monks used to bring the light to the people staying there. And they have all those little candles. And the light turns on. It's the end of the day. Things are getting smoother and quieter. And then again, you touch eternity. So yes, I'm a big fan of travel. And
You are.
and I love to discover places with a story, with a heritage, with a secret, something you will discover because you are staying there. But if I can, and it's going to be the case for this Christmas holiday, I stay quiet in Paris with my husband and my girls, and I go to one of my shelters in Brittany, where we have a house. It's northern Brittany. It's a bit cold. It's a bit rainy. But my husband would tell you it's always sunny, but it's not true. But it's very connected to nature. You can breathe the sea. You breathe
Beautiful.
sea, and it's fresh and the sky is so high. And there is this authentic connection to nature, no makeup, no dress up, nothing. You just have to be. And
Yes.
in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be cooking Christmas little cookies with my girls, playing Monopoly and watching Disney movies. And it's going to be also a touch of eternity.
Sounds
Sounds
magical.
magical.
I
I
think a
think a
touch of
touch of
reality
reality
is
is
good for
good for
all
all
of
of us.
us.
The theatre of luxury hotels, and as you know, I'm sitting in one of yours right now here in Bangkok, is absolutely wonderful. But the reality of life is equally wonderful in different ways.
Yeah, and it's a kind of backbone. If you really want
Yes.
uh, run after strong ambition, you need a backbone. At least in my case, I need this backbone. And
Yes.
last week when I was celebrating the opening of Sofitel Cotonou in Benin, this is the first 5 stars hotel in Benin. And in the morning before the ceremony, we visited a school, a public school of Ganvier. The Sofitel is supporting according to our CSR roadmap, not just about environment, but also about social positive impact. In the
Yes.
classroom, we had 117 children. They had no shoes. It was so hot. And they were all smiling, and we were bringing them books and pens, some materials to be able to study in better conditions. No, um, it's a blessing to work within our respective industries. It's a blessing, but it's also a duty. So you need to
Yes.
work in those environments which are so protected, so privileged. You can't help thinking how you're going to give back. So this is also my
Yes.
obsession. And you can't help also reminding yourself that it's not real life. And you need to find a
Yes.
way to reconnect always to real life without forgetting to give back.
100%. No, I agree. And I think, Maud, you're giving back already in so many different ways to the world, to Sofitel, to your guests, and just educating us all about how it can be better. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And we always close with asking where to from here. But unless you want to share what you're doing in your day, you've already shared some wonderful things about what you're doing. Do you want to tell us what you're doing with your day? Where to from here for you?
Today or in the coming week?
Today.
So
Today.
today is going to be my last extended CODIA with my teams before the Christmas break. So I'm going to share with
Beautiful.
them the great results and achievements of the year. I'm going to congratulate them. Then I'm going to have a very nice lunch, which is kind of ritual with 3 of my top owners. So we organize this kind of ritual lunch every quarter, and it's happening today. And the owner doesn't know it,
Fantastic.
but because it's one of his birthday, I prepared as a surprise a little, candle on the dessert. Then I'm going to have a one-to-one with my boss, Sebastien, and I'm going to share with him the latest results of our brand's performance. And tonight I've got the Christmas concert of my youngest daughter, and I'm
Oh.
going to attend the Christmas concert of my daughter. So you know everything about my day.
Well, I have to say that my twins, as I said, are 17 now, and I wish I could rewind sometimes and go to the Christmas concert when they were 4 because that's about as magical as it gets, and it doesn't
And this
last very
morning,
long.
as I am walking her to school, she was like, Mom, we've been rehearsing so hard. It's exhausting. And she was like, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle.
Maud Bailey, you are absolutely wonderful. It was my great honor to meet you in Sydney. It's my, great honor to speak to you today, and I'm sure that I will see you somewhere around the world
I'm
soon.
sure.
And thank you so
Renee,
much for this beautiful stay.
enjoy Sofitel. I can't wait to have your feedback about Sofitel Legend Metropole. I hope that beyond the beauty of the design and the chandelier and everything, what you will feel first is the culture behind Sofitel Legend.
Yes.
I'm looking forward.
Yes.
Wishing you a
Yeah.
wonderful festive season and a happy new year.
You too. We'll see you in 2025, Maud.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, Renee. Bye.
Oui, merci beaucoup.
Merci
Au revoir.
beaucoup. Bye bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe here and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for regular travel updates. You can also hear our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.